Richard Dean Anderson, born January 23, 1950, became an icon as MacGyver, the man who could escape anything except his own demons. Behind the charm, failed relationships and health struggles consumed him. Now 75, his fortune stands near $30 million, but shadows ling. Sam Elliott, born August 9, 1944, his deep voice defined cowboys, yet off-screen grief over lost loves and fading health haunted him. At 80, his net worth nears $20 million, but regrets weigh heavier than gold. Lindsay Wagner, born June 22, 1949, she soared as the Bionic Woman but fell into heartbreak and illness. Now 76, with $15 million, she faces aging with quiet resilience and lingering pain. Erin Gray, born January 7, 1950, she dazzled in Buck Rogers, yet betrayal and financial ruin scarred her journey. At 75, her $5 million fortune feels fragile under memories of loss. Bo Derek, born November 20, 1956, an icon of beauty in 10, but tragedy struck as love and fame slipped away. At 68, with $40 million, she lives surrounded by ghosts of a gilded past. Lee Majors, born April 23, 1939, the $6 million man couldn't repair a heart shattered by divorce and decline. At 86, his $15 million legacy feels like ash in his hands. Anthony Michael Hall, born April 14, 1968, the 80s golden boy burned out in addiction's fire. At 57, with $4 million, sobriety brought clarity but not redemption. Nick Nolte, born February 8, 1941, his rugged face told stories of brilliance and destruction. At 84, $75 million remains, yet his soul still trembles from the wreckage. Harrison Ford, born July 13, 1942, Indiana Jones embodied adventure, but crashes and loss grounded him. At 83, $300 million comforts a man still haunted by mortality. George Clooney, born May 6, 1961, his charm masked lonely nights and career missteps. At 64, with $500 million, even Amal's love can't erase past scars. Chris Pine, born August 26, 1980, Star Trek fame came fast, but heartbreak and anxiety stalked him. At 44, his $35 million sits heavy on an uneasy heart. Alec Baldwin, born April 3, 1958, adored then vilified, one fatal shooting changed everything. At 67, $70 million can't quiet public rage or private guilt. Johnny Depp, born June 9, 1963, he ruled Hollywood as a pirate but sank into lawsuits and scandal. At 62, with $150 million, redemption feels out of reach. Pierce Brosnan, born May 16, 1953, James Bond carried suave cool, yet losing his wife broke him. At 72, his $200 million fortune can't mend that void. John Stamos, born August 19, 1963, he charmed in Full House, but addiction stole his light. At 61, with $25 million, his smile hides shadows. Ethan Hawke, born November 6, 1970, he redefined art but stumbled in love and doubt. At 54, $55 million comforts his restless mind. Bruce Willis, born March 19, 1955, Die Hard's hero faces dementia's cruel grip. At 70, with $250 million, memory itself betrays him. Kevin Costner, born January 18, 1955, fame soared with Dances with Wolves, but divorce drained him. At 70, $250 million feels hollow. Rob Lowe, born March 17, 1964, scandals nearly ended him. At 61, his $100 million rebuilt reputation, yet guilt lingers. Matt Dillon, born February 18, 1964, heartthrob turned recluse, fame faded too soon. At 61, with $40 million, nostalgia is his only refuge. Val Kilmer, born December 31, 1959, he ruled as Batman but throat cancer silenced him. At 65, $25 million cannot restore his voice. Tom Hanks, born July 9, 1956, Hollywood's everyman faced betrayals and health scares. At 69, $400 million masks his quiet sorrow. Andy Garcia, born April 12, 1956, passion carried him to The Godfather 3, yet family tragedies darkened his light. At 69, $20 million survives. Christopher Lambert, born March 29, 1957, Highlander's immortal hero faced blindness and addiction. At 68, with $5 million, his battles continue. Jude Law, born December 29, 1972, scandals destroyed his golden boy image. At 52, $75 million doesn't heal a tarnished heart. Billy Zane, born February 24, 1966, Titanic fame sank with typecasting and lost love. At 59, his $20 million feels like a lifeboat adrift. Keanu Reeves, born September 2, 1964, beloved yet scarred by death and grief. At 60, with $400 million, kindness became his shield. Leonardo DiCaprio, born November 11, 1974, Oscar glory couldn't fill emotional voids. At 50, $300 million comforts restless nights. Matthew McConaughey, born November 4, 1969, he reinvented himself but fame's cost was family strain. At 55, $160 million remains. Denzel Washington, born December 28, 1954, strength hid fears of irrelevance. At 70, $280 million keeps him steady, but doubts persist. Charlie Sheen, born September 3, 1965, he lost it all to addiction and scandal. At 59, $10 million is all that's left of a fallen king. Chris Hemsworth, born August 11, 1983, Thor's godlike image masks fear of Alzheimer's. At 42, $130 million sits heavy on his mind. Ben Affleck, born August 15, 1972, he rose, fell, and rose again, haunted by drink and heartbreak. At 52, $150 million can't buy peace. Chris Evans, born June 13, 1981, Captain America feared being trapped by fame. At 44, $110 million comforts his anxious soul. Nicolas Cage, born January 7, 1964, he burned through fortunes and marriages. At 61, $25 million remains for a phoenix scarred by his own fire. Bernadette Peters, born February 28, 1948, Broadway's darling lost love and faced years of solitude. At 77, her $40 million fortune carries echoes of heartbreak. Paul Hogan, born October 8, 1939, Crocodile Dundee fell to divorce and financial ruin. At 85, his $20 million fortune barely mends the scars. Cheryl Ladd, born July 12, 1951, Charlie's Angel's grace faded into private despair. At 74, her $8 million estate hides silent regrets. Kathleen Turner, born June 19, 1954, romancing the Stones' heat cooled under illness and heartbreak. At 71, her $20 million fortune whispers of a fiery past now dimmed.